This is Sgt Jesus, and for years, he tried everything to make money. Then one day, he decided to quit his job and pursue an idea that would change his life forever.
Finally, I said, I don't want to do this anymore.
But in the beginning, things weren't looking so bright.
I started cheating on women. I started partying and drinking and doing a lot of things that didn't bring me any value. And the unfortunate part is that I did hurt a lot of people.
And when everything was at its worst, Albert faced the decision that could either lead to success or make him go bankrupt. This is the story of how Sgt Jesus built a successful business in just a few months. So, do you want to tell the audience who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so my name is Sgt Jesus, and I've been in the Marine Corps for about 10 years now. In the Marine Corps, I'm a 35-36. I'm a wrecker operator, so I do a lot of the rigging, a lot of the towing for the vehicles.
What made you want to join the Marine Corps?
The Marine Corps for me was one of the biggest deciding factors on how I was going to pivot and change my life. So I always felt since I was a kid, I was going to do something different. I was going to do something that was ultimately going to be helping people or serving others, and I knew that the best way that I could possibly do that was serving my country. So I decided to take that step when I was 17 and a half, forged my mom's signature, came to her the next day, and I told her, hey, I'm leaving tomorrow. So that's how I ended up in the Marine Corps.
So, okay, you start off in the Marine Corps. Can you take me through the journey of what you've done outside of the Marine Corps?
Right after I got out of boot camp, I got a job in the school district, the Anaheim Elementary School District. Was working there for a while. I worked my way up and then decided to pivot and then go into fitness and go into managing and operating a business. I was the entrepreneur for the entrepreneur, which just means that I was the guy that was running the whole operations in the business. But I was working 4:30 a.m. to about 10 p.m. at night, and I was making six figures. But the thing is, it's like my mindset at that time was like, I don't think this is the way it's supposed to be. I wanted to do more. I wanted to serve people at a higher level, and I was like, if I'm just stuck and grounded in a gym, this is as much as I'll ever do. So I decided to exit the gym, and then I started a leadership training company known as Alpha Journey, and the whole purpose is building leaders amongst leaders, right? I want to build leaders so they can continue to push and thrive in all areas of their life, not just professional, but also personal.
So clearly you're successful. Do you mind sharing numbers on anything that...
Yeah, I think when I stepped foot in there, the location was at 56 out of 120 locations. And in 6 months, we went from number 56 to top 5. And then we maintained top 10 for the entire time that I was there up until I exited. And so when I completely started over, right, it's been 4 months since I completely exited the gym, and I was working on a project, and I was like, you know what, let me get 15 books. Let me create 15 books. I created a program. It's 90 days. It's a 150-page book. And I went all in on it, created it. And during that time, right, I launched the program. 2 days later, I sold 15 out of 15. So that means I made $15,000 because the book was $9.97.
So you said that you were making six figures, but you were working a lot. Take me through who Albert was at that time. What was his mindset? What was his attitude? How was his leadership in the Marine Corps? Yeah. And then what changed?
Yeah, for sure. I think during that time, I was probably the unhappiest I probably was in my life ever. And the reason being, and I'll get super vulnerable because I think it can provide a lot of value. Growing up, my dad, it was a thing where my dad cheated on my mom, right? My parents separated. Women were always a big factor in our lives. It was a machismo thing. I watched my brother do it, and so I began to pick up those habits, and I started cheating on women. I started partying and drinking and doing a lot of things that didn't bring me any value. And the unfortunate part is that I did hurt a lot of people, and I always felt bad about it, right? And I remember this was 2020. This is when I had a huge shift. I had cheated on my girlfriend. I was living with her at the time. I was living with her. We broke up, and I was super unhappy with myself. I had gained weight. I wasn't disciplined anymore. I lost all the things that I picked up from the Marine Corps.
How much did you weigh?
I think I was weighing about 240 at least. No muscle. Absolutely no muscle. And so during that time, I looked in the mirror and I was like, fuck, man, I don't love the person that's staring at me in the mirror. And I decided to make I actually read a book. It's called Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. And
I love that book.
Practical application that you can do in there. So there's hey, you can write sticky notes and stick them onto your mirror.
Yeah.
And so I started doing that.
Mirror.
Yeah, accountability mirror. And I started doing that. And I started being honest with myself. I'm like, you're fat, you're a cheater, you're all this. And so I decided to get in the best shape of my life. I decided to make fitness a priority. boundary. I decided in order for me to love other people, I had to love myself. I decided to get back into a routine, decided to pick up good habits. And then again, I hit that high. I lost the weight. I had the good routine. I had the good habits. And then what would happen? I hit the top and I resorted back to my poor habits because I'm like, I made it. Like, I'm good. I lost the weight. And so I decided to go back to my old habits. Picked up the cheating again, picked up the drinking again, picked up the partying again, all over doing the same thing. And what I've learned is you never truly make it. There's never a time where you truly make it. You have to constantly self-develop. You have to constantly grow. Like, if you're not growing, you're dying. Like, you truly have to continue to prioritize what you're putting in here, what you're putting in here, and who you surround yourself with. Because if you're not doing that, you're gonna go back to your old routine. You've probably heard this. If you surround yourself with 5 losers, you're gonna be the 6th one. But if you surround yourself with 5 winners, you'll become the 6th. And so I had to be mindful and cautious of who I gave my time to and who I would surround myself with. And so finally I said, like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to continue doing this, going back and forth, not being happy with myself. And so I decided to make a promise to myself, and I said, hey, like, I'm going to commit all in on me, and I'm going to stick to the person that I want to become. I'm making a decision right now that no matter what I've been through, I forgive myself. I'm not that person anymore, and this is who I'm going to choose to become. And ever since then, it was like night and day. I said, I know my worth. I know the worth that I can bring to people. I know that I love and care for people. And I was like, I'm going to change. And that was like a huge monumental shift in my life.
Do you remember the exact date where you decided?
Yeah, for sure. It was January 5th.
January 5th, 2020?
Yeah, 2021.
2021.
Yeah, 2021.
So you're in that gym business, and how do you get into this whole coaching and this whole other industry now?
Well, the thing that got me into this was, like, I went to a seminar and I was in front of, these are my mentors. It was like Andy Elliott, Patrick B. Brad Lee, Ed Miley. I was watching, like, I was listening to a podcast. I went to a seminar, I had to watch them, and I was like, dang, like, this is what true leadership is. Like, these guys are on the grind with their team, you know? And I was like a firm believer. I'm like, the moment that you exit, you know, and you're no longer a part of the operations with your team, I feel like there's a disconnect. And if you're not doing anything to bring them together, they're gonna start to all go in their own way. But when I saw that, I was like, there's a whole nother level to the leadership. And so I remember not learning about self-development, what that means, reading books, like podcasts, plugging into someone who's been where you wanna go. I didn't know about that till I was 25 years old. And there's people that go all their life without ever knowing what self-development is, or coming across a mentor who can teach them how to get to where they want to go.
Yeah.
And so then some people live their entire life unhappy, unfulfilled. And I don't want to be the guy that's in my deathbed saying, man, I wish I did this, or I wish I did that. I wish I pushed myself. So I made a decision that I was going to go all in on myself. I believed in my capabilities. I decided to pull the trigger. I decided to exit an environment that just wasn't good for me anymore. I wanted to continue to grow. And so then I went all in on this. And I think that's the most important thing, is you have to completely put your back against the wall and go all in and commit to the things that you say you're going to do. When you begin to keep the promises to yourself, your level of confidence rises because you are beginning to believe yourself.
Okay, so you leave the gym industry and do you just jump straight into coaching? Was it like because I remember you were doing coaching while you were also in the gym business.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
So it was a gradual shift, not a...
Exactly, yeah.
Just a 0 to 100.
Yeah, 100%. And I think a lot of the people, you know, it's so crazy because in the gym space, some people are like, oh, you know, I'll charge you $97 a session or for an hour or whatever, right? I remember doing 4 sessions at like $700, $800. People were paying it. And they're like, well, how are you paying it? And like, I've been a trainer for X amount of time, but people can't even pay more than $150. Why is that? And I'm like, it's because of the value you're giving them. Like, when I work out with these people, I'm like, they're in my circle. Like, we're blood. Like, you know, I made us dog tags. I put them around their neck. I tell them, like, this is what we're building. This is a culture of people who want to excel, who want to win, and they want to get soaked into that environment. But if you're like, hey, this is just another program, I'll train you for an hour, we're gonna work on glutes, or we're gonna do, you know, upper body, or we're gonna do something like that. You know, that's transactional. But I say, hey, ultimately, like, if you surround yourself with me, we're just gonna be more motivated, we're gonna be more driven, we're gonna want to keep each other accountable, we're gonna want to work together. And that's what people look for. It's what I shared earlier. It's like, when you over care for people, the money just comes. I don't say, man, I didn't get that guy for the $700. I'm like, no, man. I started self-assess and say, what did I do wrong? Or what did I say wrong that didn't align with what he wanted to accomplish? Or maybe I wasn't a good fit for him, right? And it's like, even if we're having a conversation, right, Joey, and you and I are sitting and you say, hey, these are my goals, but I can't give you those goals. I'm not gonna make you pay or, you know, manipulate you in a way to pay me $700 if I can't serve you at highest level. You know, I just won't do that. That's not in my character. And so people pay into these programs, right? The $150 programs. And sometimes they see value, sometimes they don't. There's no real accountability to those people. But when you're paying $700, I treat your money like my money. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to devalue your money. I'm like, you need something? Call me. I'm not going to say, oh, I'm not on the clock. I'll see you tomorrow. We can talk about it tomorrow. I'll never forget this story. I was at 24 Hour Fitness. This guy paid for like a $200 like fitness plan session with him. The first session, he's like, all right, well, I'm going to give you 4 sessions. And then the guy comes in and he's like, all right, well, I'm here for my session. He's like, oh, no. Like, you told me that you wanted me to fix your meal plan because you didn't like it. So I'm going to do this right now. And so the guy came in for the workout at 4 a.m., decided to work out with the trainer. Yeah. And the trainer was like, no. Like, I'm going to fix your workout plan, and whatever time I have left, then I'll train you for the remainder time. And so that blew my mind. It completely blew my mind. I'm like, instead of saying like, hey, you know, brother, like doing it on your own time, you're like, no, I'm only going to do it on the hours that you paid me. Like, where's the client experience in that? Where's the customer service in that? How are you building a culture? There's no wonder why people don't want to continue to do business with you. Yeah. You know? So yeah.
Because it's all transactional.
It's all transactional. There's no, you know, personal behind it. There's no like, how can I serve you at the highest level? It's about like, you're paying me. So it's like, but you want me to fix something for you, then I'm going to do it on your time. And so I just never been like that. And that's why people have always paid high ticket. That's why I feel like I was able to sell these books right away, because ultimately I wasn't selling them a physical fitness program. Even though it is physical, I'm selling them a mindset shift on how to get their brain out of the gutter and how to surround yourself with the right people and what it truly means and how powerful that means to you as a person when you surround yourself with the right people. How you begin to elevate, your life begins to elevate, your relationship begins to elevate, and then your business starts to elevate. That's what I'm selling, you know?
So now that you're in the coaching industry, do you have any advice for anybody watching who wants to get into that?
Yeah, I think for the coaching business, you have to continue to work on you. You have to continue to develop you. You're only going to be able to bring people as high as you are. So if you stop training, if you stop self-developing, if you stop growing, you're only going to be able to bring them to there. And what's going to happen is that your customers are going to outgrow you. Your family's going to outgrow you. The people that you surround yourself are going to outgrow you. And then you'll just be stagnant. But if you continue to train and you continue to be a student, like, there's always room for growth. Don't ever feel like you made it. Don't ever feel like, all right, I'm cool, I could let off the gas. It's like, no, there's more. There's levels to the game, you know? And for me, starting all over from the startup, there's levels. You have to keep growing. You have to keep learning new skills.
So you quit the gym business and you get into the coaching industry full-time on your own. You're fully like 100% your own business now, and you go dark for 4 months. How many hours are you working per day during these 4 months? Do you have any weekends off?
No. When you're on your own schedule, you kind of forget what day it is. You know, like every day is a work day, right? Like it's Sunday, you know, I have my routine. I still work though. I'm up by 3:30 in the morning and I'm done with my day by like 10 p.m. So I'm always moving, always doing something. Whether it's self-investment or business investment, I'm always doing something. So it never stops. The only time it stops is when I'm gonna have dinner, I'm gonna have lunch, and I'm gonna have breakfast. It's the only time I'm not doing anything. But the majority, I'm always plugged into something, I'm always listening to something, I'm always reading a book, or I'm always working on a business.
So now with your business, how much are you making per month?
Well, right now, I mean, like I just launched, so I sold 15 books. That's 15K, right? I sold them for $1,000 each, and I think I could have sold it for more, but I put that limitation on myself, right? I said I'm gonna get 15 books because, again, I was like, what if it doesn't work, right? I mean, those thoughts never go away. You always have those thoughts, and so during that time, I was like, oh, I'll just get 15, and then I sold it to 15. I'm like, man, imagine if I had 30, I probably could have sold the 30, or maybe if I had 100, I probably would have sold the 100. You know, I put those limitations on myself, so it's like when you're starting all over. I just launched, I would say, yeah, 15K right off the bat.
Okay. And you're making a lot of money per month. What are you doing with all this money?
Reinvesting into the business, back into my social media, back into, you know, client experience. Like when I'm gonna go and deliver these books, like I'm not just, you know, stamping a label on it and sending it out. Like, no, I go into detail. Client experience from the start, you know? And so I reinvest the money back into the business. That's the only thing that I do. I'm not going out, I'm not partying, I'm not buying luxurious things, I'm not doing anything crazy or anything fancy. I think there will be a time and place for that when the business begins to scale. But if you do that too early, you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot. You're gonna start to blow your money, and before you know it, if something happens, right, you're not gonna be prepared for what's happening. You're not gonna be prepared because you were so worried about what people thought about you, right, and the luxurious lifestyle that you want to live right now, versus like saying, hey, let me invest into the business, let me get it to a level where I can begin to enjoy those things. Because there's nothing wrong with liking nice cars and liking nice things and watches and all that. There's nothing wrong with it, but there's a time and place when you should start to go get those things instead of doing that early on, for sure.
Is it possible for Marines to make a lot of money even if they're not like tech savvy?
Yeah, for sure. I am not tech savvy whatsoever. I'm not up to date with all the tech and like editing and all that, but you can find somebody relatively cheap online who would do it. And if you can't afford it, then you have to learn the skill. You know, you learn the basics. You don't have to become the wizard at it, but you know enough to get you by, so that like when someone comes up with a problem that it took you 5 minutes to fix, and they're saying, "Hey boss, it's gonna take me 5 hours," you can be like, "No, no, no, no. You can do it in 5 minutes. I know because I've done it." Right? You can start to rebuttal certain things. So if you're in a place of like your finances aren't the greatest, I would say take the time to learn. Look, if you know what you're looking for, the world will give you what you're looking for. There's YouTube videos, there's Google, there's things that you can search now. The world is your library. Like, you can go find how to make an Instagram reel or how to make a thumbnail. Like, you can learn how to do all these things. And you just have to be willing to do the work. If you're not willing to do the work, then good luck trying to run a business. Good luck trying to do bigger and better things if you're not willing to get a little dirty. You know, if you're not willing, it's the most important thing.
Any last advice that you want to give to the audience?
No, I think ultimately just believe in yourself, push yourself, become that best version of you. You know, sharpen your skills, sharpen your mind, and you can have whatever it is that you want. Like, mark my words, and I'm like, say this on the camera, like, mark my words. I'm 28 years old right now, but by the time I hit 30, I'll be a multi-millionaire for sure. I guarantee it, I promise it. That's like what I'm manifesting right now, and it's gonna happen.
I believe it. Thank you so much, man. Where can the people find you?
Yeah, you can add me on my socials at the Albert Jesus. You can have my website, albertjesus.com. And if you want to get the book, it's albertjesus.com/The Crucible. And yeah, you guys can purchase your copy there. All right. Appreciate you guys.
Cool. I'll leave a link down below. Feel free to check them out.